Welcome to Regardless. This podcast is the go-to hub for 20-something women navigating life's toughest chapters. I know it's not easy right now, and I want you to know that you're not alone, that you can come here to remember that you can keep going, and regardless of what shows up, you've got this.
Hi.
Crazy that it's literally 2025. I don't know where in the world this year came from. I feel like
I mean, where it came from or where it went?
where it went.
We know probably where it came from, but yeah.
No, I know, but it feels like it just came out of
blink,
nowhere. Crazy.
A blink of an eye. Blink of an eye. It was gone. It was kind of a tough year.
Oh my God, you guys. So, what my mom and I did, literally, this process took a while, but we wanted to basically start the new year off with you guys with really strong, empowering, like affirmations that we created based off of
our experiences.
Yeah, and what happened in 2024, and really, regardless of what happened or didn't happen, this is what we are vowing to ourselves, to the 2025 versions of us.
Yeah, you know what's kind of cool too is I just had a thought that well, why don't you just state with the first hey 2025.
Let's do it. Hey 2025, this is what I need you to know.
Okay. I'm teeing that up because I think it's kind of cool because what we're talking about is having a relationship with 2025.
Interesting.
Like, hey 2025, this is what I need you to know. Like, will you conspire with me?
And I think this is super spiritual because you guys, I'm a very spiritual being, but I feel like throughout my 2-year relationship, you lose yourself sometimes. And I think I kind of lost myself and I lost my daily check-ins with the universe, with the angels, and recently with feeling so helpless and lost, I've reconnected with my angels, and like they're here with us right now. Like they're like, girl, just you wait. 2025 is gonna be fun. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be hard. There's gonna be lots of tears. There's gonna be tons of belly laughs. You're gonna get your heart broken, whether it's by a friend, maybe by someone else. Regardless, you're alive, you're breathing, you get to do this.
And how many new people are out there waiting to be introduced to us?
And now we know that only through those soul sandpaper moments, the crushing moments, those are the moments that we get to make the decision. Yeah. Those are the moments that we get to be like, well, we'd rather grow.
Yeah, I have a wish for you.
Yeah.
And I guess it's kind of a wish for all of us, but I'm listening to you and I know how, Skylar, you crashed and burned.
Yeah.
Literally at the end of this year. And it was needed. And I look at the beginning of the year all the way through. I'm like, who is
different
this
person?
Human being? You were not present. You were like spinning all these plates, juggling all these balls. You were suffering.
One ball. Two
balls. you were suffering.
One ball.
You were suffering. Yeah. Literally, you weren't sleeping. As you were starting to kind of go towards the crash and burn, I was like, something's got to give. So, my wish for you is, yes, with all the declarations you just made and the ones we're going to make, embrace, be present. And, with the mess, be like, okay, here's the mess. Yep. It's supposed to be messy. That's where that's where we
grow. And that's where we shift and evolve.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think instead of I think what happens with New Year's resolutions and setting intentions is that we don't know what's going to show up. We don't know what's going to show up tomorrow. We don't know what's going to show up in summer or fall, whatever. We have no control over really anything besides how we're showing up.
Yeah, totally.
And I think when it's really interesting, everyone's like, new year, new you, and it's very positive. And I think that's great, but it's almost can be very toxic positive, because it's why aren't we looking at the year being like, shit is going to go down. It's inevitable. Did it go down last year? Did it go down the year before? Yeah. So it will happen again. And I think kind of being aware that there will be challenging points in time, but having that relationship with the year, with yourself, and trusting that every hardship is supposed to be at your front door. And regardless of those things, you get to decide how you want to experience it and how you want to pivot.
Yeah, because it's, like you said, those moments will be at your front door.
Regardless.
And so, invite them in. They're guests. Our feelings, our emotions, the things that we go through, they're a part of our lives. So when things like that show up, it's like, okay, invite them in, right? And see what we have to learn from it. And this is what I think regardless is so powerful, because it is about resiliency.
I know.
Regardless is, despite the shit, regardless of facing all the stuff that we face, even regardless of the joy, we still got work to do.
Yep.
Okay. So let's go.
Okay. First, vow to ourselves, Mom.
Yes.
And we made this up together. Yeah. Okay. Regardless of how scary it feels, regardless of showing up alone, regardless of my bank account, I will seek new adventures and not avoid discomfort. Why stay stagnant? Just go.
Yeah. So what does that mean to you, girlie?
Oh my God. To me, my number one value in life is like self-growth and also authenticity. And so a lot of people look at me and they're always like, Sky, like, how did you get so confident? How are you the way that you are? And for me, it's ultimately my relationship with the word regardless. And for me, putting myself into uncomfortable positions, trying something new, seeking to always get outside of my comfort zone and push the needle in some area of my life, like those are the things that have created not only courage, but also confidence for me. Damn. And I'd much rather live a life where I'm challenging myself, because no one else is going to do it for me.
No. And
so I think adventure comes from getting yourself outside of your comfort zone and actively seeking that. And even if that means that my bank account's not looking great right now, okay, this is really uncomfortable. Yeah. Regardless, I'm going to grow through this. Right. Let's get creative. Let's have fun with this.
Who do I need to know? Where do I reach out to? How do I need to have this difficult conversation? That can even be adventurous.
Like, let's go. Right? Let's freaking go.
Yeah, because, life is happening. And I think that trips me out a bit, being the age that I am. And where I am in my developmental stage, it's like I can't go backwards, right? I can just go, okay, this is where I am now. And the reality is life is going to progress. People are going to get out there and do it.
They're doing your dream now.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, Linda, you can be a little uncomfortable. You can make a fool of yourself sometimes and still be okay. And how great is that? Like, even the ability of, like, just for instance, doing this with you, like, you've always been incredibly courageous. You've always been a big yes. I think you've been a yes girl, like, I'm just going to do it. And so I see that courage that I know infuses the confidence in you. Yeah. And that is powerful.
Courage comes before confidence.
Absolutely. You've got to get out there and do things, because that's how we build the competency. And we have courage and the competency. We build the confidence. So more adventures, regardless of what's going down, regardless of what other people are doing, get out of your comfort zone and
grow. Grow. Why not? Why not?
Just do this. Just go. Right?
I love it.
Yay!
Okay. I have to read this one, Mom, because this one's like very personal. Okay. Regardless of being too much, thank you. Regardless of him being uncomfortable. Regardless of him thinking that it's not a good look. True story. I will not dim my light. My happiness and purpose are non-negotiable, babes. Non-negotiable.
Yeah. Well, who's it a good look for? Like, aren't we supposed to kind of decide what our look is? I mean, you can be as simple as like, okay, I put this outfit on. I'm not going to go to other people and go, of course I might ask for their advice, but for someone to just declare it's not a good look. Who
For who?
I'm kind of confused, So I think and the other thing too is we hear this a lot being told we're too much.
Especially as women.
That, I hear that a lot in my office with a lot of fabulous women. And what I have to say to that is typically when you get those comments about you being too much, too loud, too bold, it is because it is a discomfort and the person who is receiving that energy doesn't know what to do with it. No. And it becomes more of a trigger for them. Same with it's not a good look.
It's not my problem.
No, they just feel out of control or uncomfortable because it begins to be a reflection of them maybe. And it's okay, well then at least have a conversation about it instead of making a blanket statement and judgment and then,
And who voted on that? Who decided that it wasn't a good look? It's a projection of them feeling insecure and not enough.
Yeah, a lot of times.
In my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of times it's something that's going on. And I clearly that does kind of show misalignment. So that's okay.
And I think also with being too much, I've gotten this so much in my life. Only from men, actually. Only from men. Pretty much. And
maybe loud or something from
but the specific too much that is bro, go find less. If we actually break it down, that's actually, it just shows all of their shit.
It's a lot.
It's go find less.
Okay, so if you're too much, go find less. Okay, that's a good one.
That's all I have to say. Okay, your turn, Mom.
Sorry. All right. I don't have my glasses on, but okay. Regardless of wanting it to work out, regardless of doubting myself, and regardless of losing faith, I trust my intuition. I deserve to listen to my inner wisdom. She knows best.
This baby right here, Mama.
Yeah, we really struggle to listen to our intuition, and I think we get it confused because there's a difference between our instinct and our intuition. Our intuition is that inner knowing, and our instinct is a survival mechanism to keep us safe. So, when you're out in the dark, you're going to your car at night and it's dark, your instinct is telling you to be aware, be safe. Oh my, you might feel a little kind of jitter in your heart, you're feeling fear, right? Your hair might stand up. That is an instinctual feeling, that it's a mechanism that's within us. So we've gotten from the primitive days, back in the caveman days, from the saber-toothed tigers, let's say. But we get
saber-tooth.
Did I say that?
You did.
Ooh, okay, saber-toothed tigers. That we really kind of misjudge what our gut is. Our gut is that inner knowing, that inner whisper of our soul, the inner kind of callings. Maybe you can think of an example where you've paid more attention to the instinct to be safe. I want to stay in this relationship because I've invested so much time and energy. And if I get out of it, or if I do something different, or if I leave the job, oh my gosh,
safety.
We get very
instinctual. It's almost filling those needs of fight or flight. For me, I did not listen to my intuition with the job, with some situations with my ex-boyfriend, where it was there was a feeling, even before the day that he broke up with me, I felt something was very off. And I think I knew what was happening because I know that this is not normal for me or us, but I just decided not to listen to her. And she's always, because I was afraid of losing what was. Right. I was afraid of not being safe.
Right. So you listened to your instinctual safety mechanism, which is, you can hear it go, whoa, is this, my fear's coming up. Am I in danger or am I in discomfort right now? You are not in danger. you were in discomfort because you would have to face your fear. You'd have to have a voice. You'd have to speak up. You'd have to maybe come to a decision of what you felt your inner knowing was telling you. And it's super hard to follow that.
And like, scary.
It's really scary. So that's why a lot of us go, oh, just joking, or oh, not yet, or maybe I'll try again. Or, there's plenty of reasons or things that we do that's kind of, whoa, is this more my instinct?
It's hard.
My instinct is to run. My instinct is to stay. My instinct is to hide. My instinct is to people please, to calm myself down versus like, wait, what's up? Like something feels weird. Off. Or, come on, girl, you know what you're made for. Why don't we listen to that?
I don't know.
Anyways, intuition.
She knows
Trusting
best.
Our intuition.
She knows best. Okay, I'm gonna make sure this is up. Just gonna make sure.
Is it good?
Thank God. Okay. Oh.
No way.
Battery exhausted.
Okay, do we have a plug that we can plug in there?
Yeah, we're just gonna shoot.
We should have.
This is a very good one. Regardless of my relationship status, regardless of receiving attention, regardless of not being ready, I will not lower my standards. My worth is not up for debate, period. Period. My standards do not fluctuate based on any of those things listed above.
No.
Attention that I'm receiving from men, how I feel about myself on a certain day, none of that, regardless of all of that. My standards do not fluctuate.
No, you know your standards, you know your values, you know what you're needing in any given moment, you know what your intentions are. All of those things set your standards of who you are as a woman, who you are as a human being, how it is you want to show up in the world and also call in people. And we, honestly, you guys, ladies, and whomever, we train people.
Yep.
Literally.
How to treat us.
And so if we're consistently, losing our standards or betraying our standards, then obviously who's going to take us seriously? We got to take ourselves seriously, right?
Yep.
And so I think that is key.
Yeah, and not settling, whether it's for a person or whether it's for maybe altering your behavior. I think especially with dating, and this is something that still is so mind-boggling that a lot of my girlfriends share with me, but like how some guys will make a girl feel bad about not sleeping with them.
Okay.
Regardless of what this guy thinks, bro, I have a full freaking lecture to tell you, first of all. Secondly, get out of my room. No.
Like the audacity to have the expectation and to even try to make a girl or a woman feel guilty about that. I get so heated about that. I know. I think it's just absolutely wrong. And, hence, know what it is. Know what your standard is. Like if your standard is to sleep around or sleep with somebody on the first date or two, then so be it. Own that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if it's not and you're really intending to have somebody get to know you and feel that sense of mutual respect
and you want like a serious relationship,
yeah.
Regardless, keep your standards. Know your worth.
Yeah.
It's not up for negotiation.
That's deserving.
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh. So yes.
Huge one.
Good one.
Okay.
Regardless of being overlooked, regardless of not being chosen, regardless of your limited perception of me, rejection is redirection. Losing you brought me back to me. Thank you. Next.
This is a really good one.
This is a beautiful one. And rejection is one of the hardest things for us as human beings, male and female, because we feel it on a physiological, emotional, and psychological level. It is like literally, it's a takedown on all levels. And in the moment, I think and we talked about this last time, but I really do think we have to give it our due time and due diligence to really kind of nourish the hurt, because there's so much connected to rejection. And as we're starting to move through that, the clouds start to lift a bit, and we're like, whoa, could this be a redirection for me? Could this rejection been a form of protection? Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what? I think rejection, like, we make it so personal. And it is personal, but I think regardless of getting rejected, I want to thank whomever is rejecting me, because you're allowing there to be room for those people who want to love up on me.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you for
like
leaving space and room.
Oh, wow.
Thanks.
So
I'm grateful.
Right. So that's the
I'm grateful.
Like the end step, I think, of embracing what happened is you got the gift. And that is also hard to find, the gem in the mess. So hard for us to find it. But if you really look at it like an oyster, it's kind of ugly, and you cut it open and it's all mushy, but there's a pearl inside of that, because the pearl is developed from all this sand and grit, that it becomes this beautiful pearl. And you've got that gem, you've got that gift now through the pain. So it is redirection. I don't know where that went though, babe.
Okay. Okay. Ooh. Regardless of my body changing, regardless of not feeling rested, regardless of shaming my body, I will prioritize pristine self-care. I'll love her. I'll listen to her. I'll hold her unconditionally. It's the only vessel that we have in this life.
Yeah. And
better take care of her.
Yeah. And we kind of detach from it. Oftentimes I see a lot of, women kind of, it sounds crazy, but almost like totally detaching from the body. And it's like you cut your head off and here's your poor body suffering because up here's all this nonsense story, inner mean girl, the body shaming, the pressure, the internal like self-imposed pressure we put upon ourselves. Like we don't give ourselves a day of rest.
Ridiculous.
Right? What's that about? Like this isn't deserving of that, So I think the pristine, vowing for practicing pristine self-care for me this year is
Mom,
at the top.
Yeah.
Because I've got to, it gets to the point where it's like I want to feel my best so I can get out there and do what it is that I want to do, but I got to listen to her.
And I think it's
and love her, right?
And I think it's like being very flexible with what that looks like every year, because we're changing and evolving constantly, and what pristine self-care looked like last year for me is different this year, and it's going to be different on a day-to-day basis. So I think it's like allowing yourself to have grace with what feels good with your body, and I think that's what pristine self-care is like, okay, checking in, honoring how I'm feeling today, what's showing up, and not letting this head or pressure from other people, pressure from yourself, pressure from social media, like regardless of that shit, no one else is you. No one else's responsibility is to take care of your vessel, your body, besides you.
Yeah.
So we better love up on her. We better listen to her and hold her.
I agree. Oh my gosh.
Okay, sorry, we're getting emotional.
But also, I think too, when we talk about pristine self-care, and this is just one final thing I had this thought, is find a process, like a daily process of self-care, being, and I guess we say the word pristine, which we've learned that together. We learned that through Sandy, but it's like something that you can do, that you can consistently check in with yourself.
Like a gut check, a pulse check.
I think that's important. That's pristine.
That's for me this year, is making sure that I at least have like 5 minutes or even a minute just to sit, meditate, breathe. What do I need? What is showing up? What feels juicy to you, Sky? How are you going to live today.
Right, and that's what you weren't doing at the beginning of
No.
the year last year. You were just like
And
gas
honestly,
on the pedal.
I do.
I mean, foot on the pedal. Not
I
gas
do
on
like, and I looking back, like the people that are closest to me are like, Sky, like, you're just so stressed. Like, why is this worth it? Like, you know, and I just want to thank those people who shared that with me. And I'm sorry for not listening to you. And now I'm like, whoa, like I'm seeing a lot of things a lot more clearer. So I just want to thank those people out there who were like, you deserve better than how you're treating yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to live this way, and we have a choice every day.
Yeah, tough one.
Yeah.
But that's good. That's good, boo.
Okay, this last one, Mom.
You want to read it?
Should I read it?
Sure.
Okay, regardless of FOMO, regardless of feeling like I should, regardless of disappointing others, no more yes to fuck no's. I will not abandon myself for others. My life, my rules.
This is a big one.
That's like period. End of story.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we do a lot of self-abandonment, and I think we do that because we fall under the guise of people-pleasing. We fall under the guise of approval-seeking, and we're not even really cognizant of that because a lot of times the people-pleasing nature is part of that fight, flight, you know, and also the fawning, right? It's like, just please love me, please like me. So we tend to say yes to a lot of things when we're like, our body might even be communicating and say, oh, heck no. And then we do it anyways, and it's unfulfilling or it sets us back, or it's disappointing, or when reality, maybe it is that, you know, you just need to practice saying no at times.
Yeah. Saying no is powerful. Yeah. And it's necessary. It's necessary for pristine self-care. Yeah. It's necessary for healing after rejection. It's necessary. Like all of everything that we said, like saying no is a powerful tool. Mm-hmm. And it is interesting because Mom was like, I'm a yes girl. And like, yes. And I think to every strength, there's always a weakness. Like there's always a dark side to our superpowers. And I've gotten a lot better at this. But saying no is like a protection for your vessel, your space, your energy. And in order for us to be saying yes fully in our full loving energy, we have to be saying no too.
Yeah, I think you said something really important. It is a boundary. And when we set boundaries, which can be a whole nother conversation. But when we set boundaries are not walls we're putting up against other people. They're actually protections for ourselves. And so maybe a no is a boundary that we have to just recognize that, you know, that no is something that we need to do because it's our own like survival thing we need in the moment, or we're just not in alignment with what's best with us, or there's multitude of reasons for why we say yes when we really should say no. So if it is a no, if saying yes is a no to you, then it's a no. It's not.
It's a fuck no.
Yeah, it's not a yes. So we got to remember that.
You guys, I think 2025 is going to be epic regardless. And for me, I'm just like, bring it on, bring the lessons, bring the tears, bring the belly laughs. I want to laugh this year.
Yeah.
I want to laugh. Like, bring it.
Yes. A lot of playfulness. You know, we got to work that in there. Yeah. Right? So, all right.
Any last final words, Mom?
No, I say that, hey, let's put 2024 to bed and let's actually put our little end of this chapter and lovingly do so. Because I think, honestly, Sky, I think you're ending this year in a very loving space. And I think you're really honoring you pretty much for the first time that I haven't seen in a long time. And so I love that, right? So you're taking this beautiful gift and lesson from this year of immense growth, and you're like, okay, creating a relationship with 2025. Let's conspire. Let's do this. So I love it.
I love you. And also, you guys, our newsletter has officially launched.
Yep.
So if you want to get literally monthly reminders from my mom and I starting you off for the new month, sign up. We will be sharing our in real time stories, lessons, our favorite resources, books, to what we're doing to feel good, to
all sorts of stuff.
Oh my God, what we're wearing, eating, watching.
Yeah, just
affirmations, prompts. So if you want that, join and sign up. Link in bio. I love you guys.
Yes.
Deeply. We've got this.
Yes. Yay. I love you.
That was great.
Yes. Now
Did you like it?
Layla.
Let's go to Layla. Thanks for listening to Regardless. Catch new episodes every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Just a reminder that this podcast is purely an entertainment and educational platform. This does not substitute for any therapeutic or medical advice. You've got this, babe.